it's Kris.
And I'm Wyatt Elliott from Notebook Entertainment.
And you're watching Horrorland News. Alright, so coming up this week on NotebookTV, on Wednesday we have Thanks We Hate It, where Alex and I continue our countdown of the worst of the decades with the worst horror of the 2000s. God, there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, so far you guys seem to be liking the first video, so we appreciate the views and can't wait to keep it going.
Right. I'll go all the way back to silent era days if we have to. Yeah. So let's move on to TV Roundup.
No TV and no beer make Homer something.
Interview with the Vampire. We talked about this last week on AMC. They released stills. This week they released a 20-second clip. And it is only 20 seconds, but it just kind of gives you the feeling of the setting in New Orleans and then the back of a character who is very obviously Lestat. So yeah, it's just a real quick thing, but it's getting me hyped for it, yeah. And I'm very excited for it. All right, and then next up on TV Roundup, Chucky Season 2 has officially started filming as of 4/20.
Good time.
As verified by Don Mancini. On Twitter, he took over Chucky's account, and
everybody don't tell, but I took over Chucky's account. I'm here on the set of Chucky Season 2, Day 1. We're getting started. Can't wait for you guys to see what we have in store. Oh shit, he's coming. Gotta go.
And then Sci-Fi, of course, they posted a little thing of him holding a sign saying Day 1 filming.
I'm sure Sci-Fi's thrilled. But
oh yeah, this is like their biggest hit in a while.
Yeah, Day of the Dead didn't do for them. What?
Yeah, we still have to watch those final two episodes.
I don't think we're going to. Do we still have them anymore?
Guys. I don't know. I may have deleted it off my DVR.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I never found them
idea.
on streaming, so...
Well, they're probably trying to pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's it for TV Roundup for right now. Let's move on to our trailer part.
In a world.
This one is called Dash Cam, and it's just a teaser trailer. So it's like a little scene from the movie to whet your appetites. It's presented by Blumhouse, directed by Rob Savage, who his previous outing was a movie called Host, which some of you may have seen. It came out in 2020 on Shudder. This, I guess, is a follow-up to that. It's written by Rob Savage, Gemma Hurley, and Jed Shepard, starring Annie Hardy, Angela Enahoro, and Amar Chadha Patel. I'm so sorry if I made any of those names sound wrong. It's going to be in theaters and on demand June 3rd. And here's what it's about. In the midst of a lockdown, musician Annie has been live streaming with her fans, taking their comments and turning them into rap lyrics as she drives around downtown LA. Exasperated by her pandemic lifestyle, Annie escapes to the UK to visit her old bandmate Stretch, live streaming the whole way. But her arrival and behavior incite contempt from Stretch's girlfriend. After an argument, Annie runs off with Stretch's car and phone, using them to take over his food pickups when she encounters a stranger, a frail, elderly woman called Angela, who is being followed by someone looking to do her harm. Annie identifies with Angela's plight, and with the added incentive of an envelope full of cash, she agrees to deliver Angela to a safe address out of town. Annie and Stretch soon find themselves caught up in a twisted plan with sinister forces at work, and as the night progresses and chaos builds, they must fight for their lives against a supernatural creature intent on making Annie its new host.
Oh, interesting. Now, I haven't watched this trailer. I've seen the story go around. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I know it's not a full trailer of it, but is it a found footage
film?
It
is. Yeah, it looks like it's all taking place through a dash cam, and
That's
it's the same as we saw in the zombie show and in the New Texas, where you can read the comments people are making and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept then. I can see that being fun. It almost reminds me of some of the shorts we watched.
It reminds me of, what was with Steve from Stranger Things, where he was a driver.
Yeah, what was that called?
That was a good movie, but that's what this kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, I'll look it up and show it when we're in editing, but I can't remember what it's called. But that was good, and he was kind of nuts.
Yeah, it was all through his camera or whatever.
God, what was that called?
I can't remember what it's called, but I liked it.
I know. We liked it so much I can't remember what it's called. But
well, to be fair, we've watched a lot of stuff lately.
Yeah, it happens.
So yeah, Dash Cam, again, presented by Blumhouse, in theaters and on demand June 3rd.
Sweet. Sounds good to me.
All right, so let's get right into news. So Lionsgate is looking to relaunch a few of their franchises. We got big news about 2 of them this week. They're actively looking for pitches for new new entry in the Leprechaun series and a new entry in the Blair Witch series. Let's start with Leprechaun. So, in the Bloody Disgusting article I read, Darren Lynn Bousman, who you know from Saw and Repo, the genetic musical, or genetic opera, he's been openly vying for over a decade to take over the Leprechaun series. I think they should have let him, considering what they've put out in the last decade for the Leprechaun series.
Yeah.
So... to quote, he made a quote to Jason Jenkins of Bloody Disgusting. So here's what Darren Bousman's quote is. I would make a more direct sequel to the Leprechaun franchise. I would not reboot it. I don't want to do that. I would demand that Warwick Davis come back. I wouldn't do it without him. I would not try to change the tone. I would make it equally as batshit bonkers crazy. It would be between the first film and Back to the Hood. It would be somewhere in that tonal frame. It got really ridiculous as they went on, but that ridiculousness is what made them fun. End quote.
And Warwick Davis made it fun. You know, like, I didn't watch either of the 2 new ones that they released.
I saw the kill counts on them.
We watched those. Yeah, it was the kill counts. And the lighter one, Origins is the real bad one. The Returns one, where they recast him, Rizzler or whatever as him. I guess that one's supposed to be more in the tone of it.
Here's their problem, and I adore Warwick Davis for a variety of reasons, including Willow.
Yeah.
He's not young anymore. And so if they are going to try and bring back the Leprechaun series, maybe they should try and find someone new to take over. Maybe do one more with him, end out that, series or whatever.
Do it as he's the older Leprechaun passing the baton or something. Because,
I don't know.
Like I said, from everything I've heard and seen of the Leprechaun Returns, I guess he did a good job. It was just taken a little more seriously.
Right.
He didn't have the wit that Warwick Davis had, or at least was written to have. So I feel like Warwick Davis is coming back for Willow.
Yes.
So if he can do Willow, he can probably do this, unless he just doesn't want to be in the makeup all the time.
Okay, but again, he's probably not going on a grand adventure this time in Willow. He's probably going to be like Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit.
But,
or in
well, that's what I'm saying, though.
I'm too old for this shit. You go on adventures.
And I think in Leprechaun, I think they could do it with film trickery and stuff. I think the biggest question is, does he want to sit under all that makeup?
That's the other thing. That's a lot of makeup.
That's probably the big question.
But my point is either way, he's old, and things happen when you get old that we don't want to happen, but,
Yep.
And so you got to plan for that contingency. And if Lionsgate seriously wants to reinvigorate the Leprechaun series, they should probably... I like Darren Lynn Bousman's ideas. I would love to see it. And maybe he should do one more with Warwick Davis.
Maybe that's what they...
But if they need to reboot the whole thing, I think, if they really want to...
If they want to plan for the future, maybe they should do like a requel and mix the Leprechaun Returns with the old ones.
With the new
and you cross them over, and then you...
Yeah. Because if they want this to be, they want to rebuild the Leprechaun legacy, I really think they need to cast a new Leprechaun.
Thinking of that, maybe that's what they ought to do with Freddy as well. Get Robert Englund while they can.
He's too old to be sitting under all that makeup, guys. Like, that's a lot of makeup.
I'll bet you he could do it I'll bet you they could do it easily enough, and they'd do it for one more and have him recruit somebody to take over as Freddy or something, because what they did before doesn't work.
See, but that's stupid too, because with Freddy's backstory, you can't, it's not like, there's another Freddy. Like, he literally was one dude who they burned alive. Like,
I think that these are going to be some tough decisions that producers are going to have to make.
Hey guys. Hey, producers, maybe come up with new horror villains.
There is that.
So let's move on to Blair Witch, which this one actually makes me upset. So Blair Witch, as we know, the sequel came out, Blair Witch, Book of Shadows or whatever. Yeah. I don't hate it. I know that a lot of people don't like it. I don't hate it. I think I can see where it could have gone better, for sure.
Sure, it wasn't a great movie.
But I don't hate it.
But people only hate it because it wasn't.
I didn't see the reboot movie.
I didn't either.
I don't even really remember it coming out, honestly.
It did. Well, it wasn't
like
out
a
very
blip.
long.
Right, it was like a blip.
Yeah, if I remember right, I was like, "Oh, I'll go. We should go see that in theaters."
And then
it
was
gone.
Yeah.
And
so I never saw the reboot, so I honestly can't give an opinion on that.
I don't even know if it's found footage or not.
Right.
I have no idea.
But the point is both of those, neither of the original creators of Blair Witch were involved in those, and they wanted to be. So original creators Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez, they say that they have a whole bunch of ideas, from a sequel to the original to standalone movies that would create this whole Blair Witch universe. But they claim that Lionsgate has never been interested in what they have to say. Daniel Myrick was on the Boo Crew podcast in 2020, and this is his quote. Lionsgate hasn't been too interested in our input, which is sort of ironic. But whenever they're ready, we're hanging out if you want us to come back in and take a stab at it. So it kind of pisses me off that the original creators of the Blair Witch, which we all love, we all agree, it was a great movie. It kicked off the found footage phenomenon. Yeah. It's one of the better found footage movies in the genre. And to just shut the creators out afterwards, what are you doing?
Especially after all these years, and when you know that people have that nostalgia, so to be able to promote it as saying
original
creators
right.
are back, I think that would bring weight to it.
Mm-hmm. You know? It would make me more interested, because I'm like, okay, well, these guys knew what they were doing the first time.
Because here's the problem: Blair Witch was a great movie for its time, yes, because of what it established, because of what it created, because it caught everybody off guard. Let's face it caught us all their pants down.
Right. Nobody expected it to be the hit it was.
I will never forget the first viewing I went with a bunch of friends, and my one friend came out literally shaking like this. He was so just terrified of the experience. He thought, as I knew it wasn't real, but so many people thought it was real.
For those younger in the crowd, you have to understand, the marketing campaign behind the Blair Witch was genius.
Exactly.
The internet was still very much in its infancy. There was no, Twitter. There was no Facebook. There was nothing where you could go to, confirm or whatever. So what they did is they made this seem like it was a true story, that this was found footage that they discovered and turned into a movie.
None of the actors were allowed to go on any publicity tours. They weren't allowed to go to
them.
They couldn't go to the premiere.
Nope.
Because they had to all be
pretend to be dead.
Yep. And so it wasn't until after it was out for a while that they were allowed to start going
they
to
were like,
talk
hey guys,
shows and stuff. And
I'm still alive. Hire me for other things.
And it's a very interesting experiment in film. I kind of consider it the same way they did with The Sixth Sense, where it's more of an experiment in film than it is a story.
Right.
And I think that, so the fact that and the Blair Witch reminds me of these short films where you set up something horrible happening without really explaining it. And now you could use the sequels to explain all of that. So, and Book of Shadows didn't do a
very good job of that.
Especially since they don't know. If
Book of Shadows, that's the thing. Book of Shadows could have been any movie. It didn't have to be a Blair Witch movie.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the problem. But if they have ideas, I think Lionsgate should hear them out.
Get the original creators in there.
Yeah, because we all know that sometimes creators, they're one and done,
right,
and so their ideas may be terrible.
Or they get too big and they've got too many yes men. George Lucas. And start making bad decisions. George Lucas.
You can say that about J.J. Abrams. You can say that about James Cameron.
But I think George Lucas is pretty much the biggest example of that.
Yeah, Michael Bay's another one. But yeah, absolutely. You see it happen to a lot of directors where they just get too big for their britches and nobody tells them.
But I don't think that's these guys.
No, I don't. I don't even know what I'm sure they continue to work. I don't know what they've done, but yeah, I say at least hear them out for sure.
Right, let them hit you.
And here's another idea. If their ideas aren't great and nobody else has any other good ideas, maybe just let it go.
Yeah, just don't do Blair Witch Project anymore.
It's never going to be the same thing.
No.
You're never going to recapture
It's a moment in time. Like I said, the internet was not what it is at all. It was, it was a moment in time. You're never going to capture that again.
You're never going to recapture that. So, yeah, if you don't have a good idea how to expand the universe beyond a found footage movie, then just forget it, let it go.
Yep, let it go. But if you have an idea, Lionsgate is looking, so go pitch them.
Well, yeah, I'm going to go pitch them my Leprechaun versus Chucky idea.
Do it. All right, so this next story is a little weird, guys, but it involves David Cronenberg, so it's going to be weird.
Yeah, okay.
So to promote his new movie, Crimes of the Future, which we told you about last week, check out the link to our episode and check out the trailer.
I saw the trailer after the show. It looks really messed up. But he's going back to his body horror roots, so that's interesting.
Very much. So that's what this story is a little bit about. So here we go. David Cronenberg is selling a photo of his recently passed kidney stones as an NFT titled Inner Beauty. And he's even considering throwing in the actual kidney stones as well. Now, in a statement...
Pass.
This is the most Cronenberg thing I think I've ever heard. Like, yeah, here, take my kidney stones. In a statement accompanying the NFT, he wrote, I see in these kidney stones a luminous narrative generated by a group of my inner organs, a narrative as intimate as a person could imagine. I think each stone presents a unique aesthetic of structure, color, and organic content that engages with the mystery of my essence, my reality, which is my body inside and out. Again, this is the most Cronenberg thing I can ever think of.
This is like one step away from farts in a jar, guys.
Okay, but like this is his second NFT. In 2021, he sold an eerie 1-minute video that he produced with his daughter called "The Death of David Cronenberg," and that sold for around $75,000.
Okay, then fine.
I think I read that the kidney stone NFT was like the starting bid was around $30,000. US dollars.
I'm sorry, but there's some of you people out there have way too much money.
I don't get the NFT shit. Like, I really don't.
You guys have way too much money.
I'm too old to understand it.
Yeah, I guess I am too. And when we were with a Vibe, they were talking with us about getting into the NFT thing, and I was like, fine, whatever. But it never amounted to anything, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
I don't know. Hey, I'll take $75,000 for a picture,
right?
You know, yeah.
But I heard that it's just as damaging to the environment as the Bitcoin mining.
Oh yeah, anytime you're dealing with that, the amount of energy it takes.
Whatever.
So,
I don't know
either.
I'm not getting into NFTs. I'm too old to understand it. I don't want to understand it.
Yeah.
But he's selling his kidney stone picture and possibly his actual kidney stones. If you are interested in owning David Cronenberg's kidney stones, go check it out, I guess.
Let me just say this though about NFTs. Whoever out there, if you happen to be randomly watching this and you're the one who bought Kevin Smith's new horror movie, will you share it out there so we all can see it?
Charge people.
You know?
I'll pay you to watch it.
Yeah. Well, right, because I'd like to see it, review it. It's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie and it's Kevin Smith. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it. That's all I want to say. Just please share it. Don't hoard it yourself.
Yeah. Like that farmer bro asshole who bought the Wu-Tang CD.
Yeah, you want to come over to my house and listen to it?
Fuck that guy.
Right.
I'm glad he went to jail.
Stupid.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah,
let's move on. So an independent short film called Who's Afraid is currently crowdfunding for post-production. So they've already shot it. The simple summary that they have is a Karen flees the city after going viral for a racist incident, only to pay the cost of implicit bias when targeted by a homicidal, wolf-worshipping cult. So that's a quick overview. Okay. It's from writer, director, and producer Lamar McLean, and it's starring Siobhan Lee. Now, we've all seen the videos of the Karens going viral.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think it's genius that someone is taking that and putting it into a horror movie context.
Because
honestly, I feel good when you find out that these people like lost their jobs and shit. Like,
I just hope that
I'm just tired of people being assholes.
No, I'm totally fine with that, and she can be terrorized and all that kind of stuff. I just hope that they don't redeem her in the end. Because I don't think that's what anybody wants to see right now. I think we want to see her get her comeuppance.
Right, because half the time these Karens don't even. It's a half-hearted sorry before they double down.
Yeah, no, we want to see. I want to see it. I don't mind her being the subject of the movie. No. That's a great idea. But see her be a horrible person throughout
And they get torn apart by like werewolves or whatever
right.
this movie
is. And then
is.
in the end, when she finally gets it, everybody can be cheering in the end. It'll be like the feel-good movie of the summer.
Yeah.
Or the winter, whenever it comes out.
Well, we don't know because they got to finish post-production.
I saw this Karen at Subway yesterday was tearing down the poor employee in front of her because the vinaigrette was a different color than what she remembered it being. And the woman's like, I have no idea. This is the vinaigrette we got.
These are minimum wage employees, guys.
Fuck off.
For real.
Ridiculous. Karens are a horror, and that's a good subject for a horror movie. I'm down with that.
Here's the extended, the full summary of what it is from their crowd funding. Who's Afraid follows this Karen phenomenon to a cathartic yet heart-pumping conclusion as it answers the question, what would happen if someone had to face a life-or-death situation as a result of jeopardizing someone else's life out of sheer racism?
Okay.
Our main character, Whitney King, commits such an act of racism, then flees the city to forget and reset. Unfortunately for her, she runs from one problem into another. A charming group of locals who require human flesh for their holiday feast.
I like the way they explained it, though. Like, it is, what happens to her is because of what she did and acted.
Yeah. She's probably went on the run to be like, oh, this will blow over in a couple of days. I'll go out of town. And then she ran into the werewolf cult or whatever it is.
Right.
Right.
That's cool.
The pictures I saw on the crowdfunding site from and the videos and stuff, I mean, it looks cool.
Okay.
I would like to see it come to fruition. It is a short. It's not a feature film.
Well, good. Maybe it can be one of our indie.
If it comes out, I would love to feature it. All right, so from indie film crowdsourcing to indie film spotlight.
My advice to young filmmakers: make a movie every week. Make films, no matter what anybody says, and you'll be a filmmaker.
All right, so today we're talking about Mystery Box. It's from the Stockholm Syndrome Film Production Company.
I like that name. That's
and I found it on the Alter YouTube channel because I've been spending a lot of time on Alter. They've got great stuff, guys. It's got a 10-minute, 41-second runtime, so it's not too long. It is a foreign language with subtitles, but there's not a lot of dialogue.
There's not a lot of dialogue.
If you don't want to read, don't worry. You won't have to read much.
Yeah, don't worry. It's safe.
So it's directed by Sunny Laguna, written by Sunny Laguna, Tommy Wicklund, and David Lijablad. I don't know. Something very Nordic. Starring Lisa Henney and Hannah Oldenburg. So I really liked it. Here's what it's about.
Yeah, I liked it too. It's very good.
Let me give you the summary and then we'll give you our opinions and stuff. So, a woman named Moa is on vacation in the solitude of a cabin on a small island outside Stockholm. One day, when checking her fishing net, an old metal box is stuck in it. She takes it with her and places it in a shed nearby to dispose of later. Right after dinner, a weird sound is heard outside the cabin. She opens the front door, only to discover the box on her doorstep.
So we're watching this, and it came to a discussion of, well, if you found a box in the river or whatnot, would you open it
back?
Yeah.
If it's chained up, okay, an unchained up box, just a box you find, okay, maybe. A chained up box that you pull out of the ocean, throw that shit back in because it's chained up for a reason.
So
it's never good. It's never gonna be puppies and rainbows coming out of it.
Right, yeah, it's gonna be something horrible and disgusting or cursed or whatever. But no, I had the thought of like, well, I'll just turn it into the police department and say I found this.
Right.
I'll let them open it.
It could be a bomb, guys. You have to open
right,
it.
you may want to open the X-ray it first.
Right.
Yeah, no, the movie's great though because obviously a lot of these shorts involve one or two people and they're hearing noises and all.
And this was made
stuff.
during quarantine, so it's
so
one girl and then the other girl.
So clearly, yeah, I can see how they did this, and they maybe even came up with it because how we filmed something. But yeah, no, it's very clever though. Like I didn't see it go in the direction it did, and then I don't want to give it away, but the ending at the end is great. Like, that's not what I thought. I thought it'd be some monster or whatever.
Yeah, this movie has great makeup, great effects, and a good use of lighting and sound to create the tension that's necessary for this story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think this has great potential for further storytelling. If they have bigger ideas, I would watch a feature of this because I definitely
this is a good sell.
Yes, it's a good sell for it, yeah. I definitely see. Yeah, we always bring that up because of Lights Out, where that was an example of one that should not have been made into a feature film.
But I could see this expanding.
I can see this, yeah.
And I really like that we don't know exactly what the box does when it kills people. I'm betting it drowns them because the water comes out at one point.
Probably, but again, this is a case where I think, in this particular short's case, it's better not to know. If they were to explore it in more of a movie,
they may explain it a little more. But yeah, I do like that we don't exactly know what the box does.
Yeah, it's some sort of curse, I'm guessing, because it's replacing one person with another. So.
Right. Well, I feel like it has something to do, like maybe there's water in there and drowning. Because like I said, the water came out with the slime and the sludge that looked like gack.
Yeah, no, like when she reached her arm in there and then came out with like slime, and I was like,
right.
Well, see, this isn't too much of a spoiler, I guess, but like, I want to know how she gets the key to open it up. I would not have. At that point, I'd be out.
Right.
Because that's too much.
I'm out when it shows up on my porch, like, twice.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
First of all, I'm out when I pull a freaking chained up box out of the ocean. This is why I would survive horror movies, you guys, because, big old chained up box, dump right back into the ocean with you.
Yeah. I'd just be like, well, but there could be a human head inside.
And that's why it's going right back into the ocean, because I don't want to have to fill out the paperwork and shit for finding a human head.
All right, go watch the movie. It's very entertaining, very well done.
We really can't say anything more about it without giving it away.
We've already given way too many clues. So, go watch it. Check it out. Links in the description below. And while you're down there, make sure you like and subscribe, because I think that's the end of our show for today.
If you know any stories that you want us to cover or any indie films that you would like us to spotlight, please let us know down in the comments.
Or gossip you hear you want her to research. She's a good researcher. She'll figure it out. We'll give you an update on the story.
I'll get to the bottom of
it. And so I guess that's all we got for today. So I guess I'm going to shut up now.
All right. Have a good night. Good fight.
Bye.